Hi, this is Pastor Drew with your October 19th Keeping Connected video. So this week, the pastors are going to be reading to you the text for the lectionary for this upcoming Sunday. For those of you who are new to the church and maybe don't know what a lectionary is, the lectionary is a schedule of scripture readings. There are 4 assigned readings for each Sunday, and those readings over a 3-year cycle go through most of the Bible. These were selected by an ecumenical group of church leaders, including the United Methodist Church, and they helped select different texts for different seasons and different days, all around similar themes. And so I love the lectionary because it keeps us grounded in Scripture, helps make sure that we are not just picking and choosing our favorite verses to preach from, but that we are helping to preach through the entirety of Scripture. Because as we believe, all of Scripture is God-breathed and useful for teaching and exhortation. And so we try to not just pick and choose our favorites, but really read all of it. And so we are going to expose you to all of the lectionary texts, even though we'll only be using one for this Sunday. And so the first text is from the Old Testament, the book of Deuteronomy. It's the last chapter, starting in verse 1, chapter 34. Then Moses went up from the plains of Moab to Mount Nebo, to the top of Pisgah, which is the opposite of Jericho. And the Lord showed him the whole land, Gilead as far as Dan, all of Naphtali, and the land of Ephraim and Manasseh, all the land of Judah as far as the western sea, the Negeb and the plain that is the valley of Jericho, the city of palm trees, so far as Zor. The Lord said to him, "This is the land of which I swore to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob, saying, I will give it to your descendants. I have let you see it with your eyes, but you shall not cross over there." Then Moses, the servant of the Lord, died there in Moab at the Lord's command. He was buried in the valley in the land of Moab, opposite Beth Peor. But no one knows his burial place to this day. Moses was 120 years old when he died. His sight was unimpaired, his vigor had not abated. The Israelites wept for Moses in the plains of Moab 30 days. Then the period of mourning for Moses was ended. Joshua, son of Nun, was full of the spirit of wisdom because Moses had laid his hands on him. And the Israelites obeyed him, doing as the Lord commanded Moses. Never since has there arisen a prophet in Israel like Moses, whom the Lord knew face to face. He was unequaled for all the signs and wonders that the Lord sent him to perform in the land of Egypt against Pharaoh and all his servants and his entire land, and for all the mighty deeds and all the terrifying displays of power that Moses performed in the sight of Israel. So in this text, we hear of the death of Moses, a pivotal central figure in the story of Israel, in the story of us as a people. And I think in 2 weeks, we're going to celebrate All Saints Sunday, and we're going to be remembering the stories of those who died in our church. And this year, we, as always, have some strong pillars who have died in our church, people who served faithfully, both in big ways and in small ways, people who lived lives that are examples to us of faithfulness. And here we hear about Moses being able to see the promised land. He never got to enter it. He never got to experience the fulfillment of God's promise to Israel. That was for another generation. But Moses served faithfully, even though he wasn't able to finish the things that he'd started. And I think that's a lesson for all of us. Not all of us get to see the fruit of our labors. Not all of us get to see the end, but we all get to have a part to play. We all get to serve. We get to do so faithfully. And sometimes, hopefully, God gives us a vision of what that future looks like and allows us to celebrate all that God is doing through us, even when it's hard to see day to day. I think about Moses in the wilderness and how he just kept hoping and keeping them motivated for what the promised land would look like, even though sometimes they got frustrated and got angry that they weren't there yet. And I think that Moses here in this passage is able to see, we will get there. They will be able to succeed. And Moses had a part to play in that. So if you are feeling in the wilderness right now, if you're feeling like you're lost and just sort of wandering aimlessly, I hope that God gives you a vision of what that looks like, gives you a sense of hope that yes, there will come a day when the wilderness will be over and we will be able to enter into the land that God has promised to us. I don't know what that will look like. I don't know when that will be, but it is my hope as we trudge through day to day, and I hope that God gives you that sense of hope as well. take care of yourself. I hope you're staying connected to God, and know that if you need anything, we are here for you at the church and would love to pray for you and support you and help you get connected to all that God is doing. Take care.